Hey, welcome back to my channel. As always, I'm Eddie Sanchez with Ideal World News. Today I'm going to be talking about the government shutdown and how it's finally over, and just my discontent with both parties. Not just, and when I mean both parties, I mean the Democrats and the president, because the Republicans, they weren't really in it. The Republicans didn't really say anything. They were just defending the president, and that's not really, you're not really taking your own stance. You're not really bringing anything to the table. You're not saying, well, the Democrats are wrong because we should have a wall, because you don't have a good solid argument when you're saying that we should build a wall to keep terrorists out. Let's say 6 terrorists came from Mexico, from the border wall in Mexico, right? Or from that area, right? And then like 30 of them came from Canada. Are we going to build a wall in Canada too? I mean, that's going to bring up all kinds of problems. I mean, it's not feasible to build a wall in the Mexico area, the whole area. You're going to have to kick people out, just people that live around there. There's all kinds of issues. So with that being said, if you can't keep people out through building a wall, and experts are saying this because we have walls in places and it's people dig tunnels. So if experts are saying a wall's not going to keep terrorists out, and by the way, you have more terrorists coming through Canada than through the Mexican border. I mean, again, what's the point? I don't understand the point. Maybe the president has insight that we don't know about. Meaning the whole world, like 70, let's say 70% of the world doesn't get it, or 70% of the United States doesn't get it, and his 30% gets why we should build a wall. I'm kind of confused by the president's, interest in building a wall. Like, I think it's symbolism, right? He just doesn't want people from Mexico coming across the border. I mean, which is really interesting because the president hires like Mexicans, all these other people that come from different countries to work in his casinos and his golf courses, like all these places. The man is known notoriously for hiring cheaper labor. Ask him where the stuff that he used to like make. I remember he was in an interview, he had his ties being made, and are they made in the U.S.? No, they're made in like Indonesia or something. Like, the man doesn't I don't even think he knows what country he's in. I mean, most of the stuff that we get comes from other country. So, man, there's so many issues that I have a problem with. But like the border wall, it's just, again, it's symbolism, and it offends me. I don't come from Mexico, but most people, right? Not Native Americans, right? And I'm part Native American. So most people don't come from America. Most people migrated over here. Tell me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know people, these brilliant people that side with him will probably disagree with me and just be like, "Oh, you're wrong because you were born here, but were your parents or your parents' parents born here?" Like, again, let's just, I don't want any smart asses saying my great parents are born here. But listen, what about their parents? Somebody came here to this country. That makes you a descendant of an immigrant. So do you really hate yourself deep down? So you really have to look at the deeper issue. I'm not saying we should have open borders because that doesn't make any sense. I say have better laws, but that's different. You have to sit down with each other, Democrats, Republicans, the president, and they have to come up with better laws. You don't like the laws, right, of asylum? Fix them. That sounds simple enough. Again, these are my opinions, So you guys are entitled to your opinions. Your opinions might be that I'm an asshole, but that's not going to fix the laws, right? So let's try to fix the problem. Let's not try to fight amongst each other, but fix the problem. So, anyway, this big rant is all about how I'm happy that the government's reopened. The government should have been shut down to begin with. Listen, we're always going to have debates about money, what we want to spend the money on, but let's have productive debates on it. Okay, I'm not going to accept your offer of $5 billion for more school funding, right? But I will give you 4.5 billion for school fund. Like stupid things like that are more productive. If you're having a numbers conversation and you're like, okay, I'm not gonna agree to 4.5, but I will agree to 4.3. Like things like that are productive because you're going back and forth. But if I'm just saying, well, Cranky Nancy or whatever, like I'll make up nicknames for people, right? Like Cranky Nancy, that sounds funny. But let's not make fun of each other. Let's be adults, right? And I mean the president, because he's the only one that makes fun of people and talks down to people. I don't know anybody else. I've never heard Chuck Schumer or Nancy Pelosi. And again, I'm not the biggest Democratic supporter, but I mean, they're being adults. The president is not. So that's really what it comes down to. You can debate me and say that the Trump, the President Trump is being an adult here, but God, what are you on drugs? Maybe if you're on drugs, you see that he's being a mature adult. But again, 70% of the population in the United States probably disagrees with you that he's doing a shitty job as far as like holding the office of the president to the higher level, right? He's not doing a great job. Honestly, he's doing a Nixonian job. I mean, he sounds terrible. He sounds like he colluded with Russia. I've never seen a case of somebody sounding more guilty of anybody in my life. Again, a bit of a rant. I went a little off to the side. Look, I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think of the shutdown? Things are finally being opened. I'm still a little upset that I believe the president caused this, and he had a lot of trouble. But I'll save that for another time. As always, I'm Eddie Sanchez with Ideal World News, and yes, I just changed the name, and I'm trying to see how it sounds. Ideal World News, and as always, I'm Eddie Sanchez. I'll see you guys soon. God bless. Take care. Bye. See you soon. Bye.